Hello, flat earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. You probably can't see it very clearly in here, but I just wanted to share this beautiful yellow full moon that's rising above Phuket at the moment. So admittedly, what we have is a very blurry, let's just see if I can adjust the clarity here at all. Probably not. So it's just giving me all sorts of weird options. So yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, I'm afraid you're just not seeing it with the clarity that I would have hoped for. But it's very, very beautiful. It's very, very yellow. So I think it's a full moon tonight. It looks like it anyway. So standing outside the house here. The sunset over there. Moon's rising over here. Anyway, I thought it would be a good opportunity just to chat about, the moon. Hello, Mr. E. Hi. A picturesque scheme. Hopefully, hope you enjoy the kind of very quiet ambience here in Phuket. You might be able to hear a few crickets, and that's about it. So this is one nice thing about living in this little neighborhood is it's very quiet. So this is the thing, if you watch, I mean, up until now, we've had daytime moons. And, okay, you used to live up in Nonthaburi. Okay, far away. Where are you now, man? I'm just trying to get rid of something on this thing here. Never mind. Hong Kong. Okay. Right. Okay. Oh, yeah, I should mention Hong Kong's pretty noisy. Yeah. Wherever I go, the country tends to explode. You're a catalyst for disasters, are you? Oh dear. Yeah. But just it's one of those things, isn't it? The sun and the moon cycles. Obviously, any reference to the globe is often done with pointing at the sun or the moon and making claims about it. The harbinger of interesting times, yeah. But yeah, what we're seeing now is a full moon when pretty much, the sun has just set off in the completely opposite direction. So, as far as the moon reflecting sunlight, is it doing that? It may appear to do so, but, what we see is not necessarily causation. But yeah, we get a full moon when the moon rises just after the sun has set here. And here in Phuket, we get pretty much, 12-hour days from 6 a.m., say, to 6 p.m., dawn till dusk. So until now, we've, up until, the days and weeks leading up to this day, we've had a daytime moon and we see the sun and the moon getting further and further apart, while when the moon is just a sliver of a crescent, then that's when it's near the sun. And as the month goes on, then the sun sets and you have this, this moon that's setting soon after it. So you have a daytime moon and the gap between them gets longer and longer until we have this full moon situation here. The moon rising only after the sun has set. So it's quite funny, isn't it? Because obviously when we're kids and stuff, we imagine that the moon only comes out at night, but actually for half the month, it's there in the sky in the daytime. But it's only occasionally that we would ever really notice it. I remember, it kind of noticing it when I was a kid a couple of times. And it was, you just didn't know about the moon cycles and stuff. So it was a kind of, there's a daytime moon. But this can all be very easily explained and illustrated for all manner of models. Doesn't prove that we live on a globe, certainly not looking up like this, but yeah, that's really what I wanted to share with you. This is just give you a shot of the neighborhood there. So, it's quite pleasant. It's great that I'm just going to give the screen a wipe. I'm not sure if it's covered in crap or not. If that helps. Okay. Yeah, no other chats I see in there. So I'm trying to get rid of this thing here. Okay. Yeah. Spooky looking house. This one's empty, for sale. But it's quite a big one. Yeah. Some cars coming down the road. Yeah. So, you can see Venus up there, maybe. Yeah, there's Venus. So sunset's over there. Venus follows it. Yeah. Oh, and a shout out to LC King. If you go and check out his channel, he's done a nice video recently just on how we kind of talk about the rising signs, that where the sun is, where it sets at certain times. So again, what's happening here is we've got a moon that's rising over here, and it's it's kind of made its way over time. Usually it rises somewhere over here, comes up, okay, but over time. So this is now we're in the new year. We're in January. Maybe you saw my footage at the beach the other day, where we now have the sun kind of it's going to set further to the where is it going to be? If it's west, I can't remember. I can't further to the north or the south for me. Yeah, moon's in phase in the daytime, sun too. Right. Yeah. Miss Jeffy, they rarely bring that up. So I'm not sure what which point you were referring to there. So, yeah, sorry, it's not very clear. Obviously, there's a limit to what this is a Samsung phone, limit to what it can do. I suppose if I had an iPhone, it might be better picture, huh? Oh, more a statement about the moon. Okay. Last year in Phuket, you stayed down in Karon. Yeah. Okay. Karon, yeah, Karon's nice. Kata Karon. Yeah. Independent moon phases. Yeah. I think so too. In Thai, they talk about the phases of the moon being like a bowl that's either it's tipped up like this. So, in some senses, they could be referring to the moon being concave. Yeah. But there's, of course, Thailand follows a lunar calendar as well. All the festivals follow a lunar calendar. So today will be some kind of a Buddhist day. I'm not sure what, to be honest. But everything is done by the moon's phases. And yeah, I mean, if everything was just done by the month, it's about 28 days, right? 28 days. If every month was in line with the moon, then we'd get even months, wouldn't we? I was trying to explain leap years to my kids the other day, and of course I was going off on the fact that we're following a solar calendar, and you can never really quite get an even number of days, so months have to be shortened and lengthened, whereas if we are following a lunar calendar, then the days are pretty much the same number of days in a month. You still end up with about a year, 360 something. I can't remember how many days you get with it if you follow a lunar calendar. Yeah, or even if you make every month in a solar calendar, 28 or 29 days, you're arriving at somewhere around these figures. But it's funny, isn't it? That's the nature of what we see. There's nothing that we can actually really quantify, or what's the word? Quantify, yeah. Of course, that's what we love to do, isn't it? We like to divide up circles, quantify them into nice, neat segments, proportionate, 360 degrees. You can't quite do that with the sun. So, yeah, the convoluted Gregorian calendar. Definitely, yeah. So that's the thing, isn't it? It's funny. It's supposed to represent, although it's, the Gregorian calendar is a solar calendar, it never accurately represents what we're actually seeing. Hello, Enslaved by No Media. Hello, Massachusetts, USA. It's incredible how many don't know simple moon concepts. iPhone sucks. Yeah. I'm very happy. I've only had an iPhone once, and that's because I was given it by the place I was working, and we were doing web development then and app development. So they insisted I have an iPhone because they wanted to check how the apps looked on the iPhone. But I was quite happy to give that back. And I use a Samsung these days. What's that, Mr. E? Many of these subject matter parrots, rarely look up at the sky, let alone... Yeah, I think you're right there. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, all the time I'm dealing with trolls that come along with their comments about, where the horizons are and things like that and things disappearing. And I say, well, have you ever actually tested it? Or are you just repeating what you've heard? And most of the 99% of the time they've never tested it. They're just repeating, making these claims. Yeah, so, yeah. And that's the thing. That's the wonderful thing about this. We still have people accusing people like myself as being, whereas you realize that the globe is a cult, but then you end up getting accused of being in a cult yourself. And you try to explain to people that, no, this is flat Earth isn't a cult. We're not trying to define reality. We're not trying to tell you what this place is, who we are, but the heliocentrists are. The heliocentrists are telling you that you evolved on a rock from amoeba into fish and monkeys and what have you, and somehow we became conscious at some point on this spinning rock going around the sun after a big bang. There are plenty of people there in this cult that would love to tell you their opinion and their belief on the creation story of the Big Bang and where we are now on this idiotic linear timeline where we don't see any evidence whatsoever of anything that they propose, such as spinning and curving and species evolving from one to another and all that stuff. And flat earthers are just saying, no, the earth is demonstrably level and seems to be stationary, and that can be very, very easily explained and demonstrated simply by observing the way perspective works and how we see the world and how we see things in the sky, and without making any further assumptions about where we actually are and whether we are in some kind of space. You can then kind of come back down to earth and really can contemplate and behave and act on this in a more independent way that's more conducive to following a true path without having to worry too much about being hit by asteroids or the political dichotomies that we are presented with and the mass hysteria in the mass media. Yeah, these are all things that you learn to ignore and put aside when you realize the extent of the nonsense that we have been brought up in, especially in the West. There's nothing cultish about that, and no one's trying to give you an alternative. Well, some people might be, and in that sense, they might be cultish in what they are telling you to believe the Earth is, if they haven't even been able to verify it from themselves. Yes, there's no doubt that it can become very cult-like in some aspects, but ultimately, people like myself are saying, hey, look at the world around you, look at the way people are, look at what actually happens in politics, in business, in industry, in these so-called global economy and all that stuff. Look at what actually goes on and realize that a lot of the time we're just part of an illusion, and we often end up interpreting what we see in ways that we just can't verify. We can't know for sure. So this is a journey. This is a personal journey. It's an internal journey. We stop looking outside. We stop looking for answers up. We stop believing in, exploring space and things like that, and sacrificing everything we have right now for some imaginary future of humanity, where they might populate other planets. What we need to be focused on is what we're doing right now with each other. And what's happening right now with my battery is it's just about to run out, so I'm going to have to finish this stream. And thank you all for coming in and letting me share my thoughts. And shame I couldn't give you a clearer picture of the moon, but hopefully gave you a clearer idea of what goes on in a flat earther's mind. So thanks for coming along. Got to end it now because the battery is about to die. Sorry about that, and we'll catch up soon. Thank you very much indeed. Take care.